Hello, dirty girls. Welcome to Training Tuesday. It is Tuesday night. It is a lovely fall evening here in New England because you can see I'm starting to wear the winter clothes now. It's cold. And tonight we are talking about asking for help. Excuse me, I got this. So how do you ask for help without the world imploding around you? Because that's what happens and that's what it does. It implodes. So I want you to think about a time when you asked for help or you needed help. A time when you needed help and you didn't get it. What is a time when you needed some help and you didn't get it? And I want you to sit with that for a minute. Spend a moment with that. Go back. It might have been yesterday. It might have been a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. It might have been years. You could be going back years. But I want you to think back to an early time when you needed help and you didn't get it. And I want you to sit with that and think about how that felt. What did that feel like? That time you were looking for help and didn't get it. We can have a lot of reactions to that scenario. We could feel sad, lonely. There's no one there around us, nobody to step up and support us. You could feel resentful or angry. Where the heck is everybody? Why aren't they helping? Why couldn't they see, right, that this was important? You could feel proud. Hey, they weren't there, but I got through it anyway, so I figured it out. You could think back to that moment with a lot of confidence. Hey, I figured it out. I got this. I know how to take care of me. And maybe even when you think back on that time that you needed help and you didn't get it, maybe you don't think back much. Maybe you've kind of pushed the feelings aside because it's like, you know what, I figured it out and I've taken care of things and I've taken care of me ever since. So yeah, I'm fine. I'll figure it out. Which is where we go. Which is typically where we go because you are smart and you are capable. And because you are a high achieving, high performance woman, you do figure it out. We figure it out. We make things happen. We help things move along. Like, we know that. We know we can do that. And that is often the overriding thought in our head, right? I got this. I got this. I can do it. I know I can do it. I may as well just do it because I can. However, figuring it out and doing the work, figuring out alone, doing the work alone, without support, without someone else there, without even an ear, right? Somebody to just listen to you vent or support you that way. For high performance women, this is the most direct path to burnout. When we don't ask for help, when we don't figure out how to get the support we need to get the things done we need done. And I want you to think about that. We talk about burnout a lot. And when I describe that person, right, this high performance woman who's in there doing all the things because she can, because she's figured out how, because she had to, because there wasn't somebody there to help her before. Whether it was because she didn't ask or because she didn't accept the help or because the help was refused, reason doesn't matter. We figured it out, and from then on, we decided we could only rely on ourselves. It is a beautiful thing that as modern women, we are 1,000% capable of taking care of ourselves. We have jobs these days. We can buy our own houses. We can have our own bank accounts. Honestly, as recently as 1970, was it 1970 was the first year women could get credit without their husbands? Think about that. You couldn't own a credit card without a spouse. 1970. Wasn't that long ago. But today, as a modern woman, we are not only able to do all the things, we are capable of doing all the things. And we have somehow set up societal expectations that we should do all the things. And yet, if you paid attention to any of my trainings, for imposter syndrome, right? We've talked about the different profiles of imposter syndrome. Then you also know that the superhero imposter is the one who takes on all the things because she can, because it's how she's helpful, because it's how she moves through the day. And that profile is on the fastest path to burnout. When we don't ask for help, we are right on the landslide straight down to burnout. And when you are burnt out, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to you, to your family, to your friends? What does it mean to everyone who depends on you? What does it mean to your health, to your mindset, to your energy, to your sense of purpose, joy? What's the impact that has? Welcome to Training Tuesday, and tonight's topic, we're going to dive into how we ask for help. My name is Natalie Hahn. I am your coach tonight in this lovely forum of accelerating leadership for professional women, and I'm noticing that I'm not getting comments on my screen, but I am seeing on a different screen that there are. So hello to Terry and hello to Christine, and I'm sorry if I'm acknowledging you a few minutes late. It just popped up for me on the bottom screen. It is lovely to see you, and yes, Christine, exactly right. When we do not get the help we want, how do we feel? Alone, unwanted, unloved, uncared for. And what happens? We power through, just take care of it our own damn selves, which might give us some confidence that we can, but it doesn't make us feel any more loved or supported or wanted. And that's a challenge. That helps accelerate the path to feeling burnt out, because we're just exhausted from doing all the things. So, high achieving women, high performance women, ambitious women who are busy and working and taking care of all the things often avoid asking for help. I would love to know in the comments, if you're willing to share, what's your reason why? Why don't you, Terry, Christine, anyone else out there who hasn't said hello yet, in the comments, why don't you ask for help? What is your reason? What stops you from reaching out to your friends, to your parents, your kids, whoever's around you, and saying, hey, could you lend me a hand with this? What stops you? I will wait to see if anything pops up in the comments, but while I'm waiting, some of the most common themes for why we don't ask for help. Probably number one is, I don't want to be a burden to somebody else. I don't want to worry somebody else. I don't want to add to their workload. Oh, good one. Pride or trust, Terry. Yes. Yes. We have this idea that we should be handling it ourselves. We should be able to do that. So there's a bit of pride of I shouldn't have to need help. I shouldn't have to ask for help. Again, a fake expectation that we put on ourselves, but it's absolutely there. Trust. Terry, is that trusting that the other person maybe won't do the job or won't do it as well? That's a big one. That kind of feeds into control. Like, a lot of times we don't ask for help because we want to control the thing because we know we can do it and we know how good a job we can do. And if we don't trust the other person to do as good a job, it's like, I'm not even going to ask them because I'm not going to be happy with their results anyway. It is how I feel personally about dishes. I never ask anybody to help me with the dishes. I am not a uber picky person about how the dishwasher is loaded, but clearly I am. I have a way. So I get that. Yeah, I get that, Terry. Christine, fear of rejection, feel I don't deserve it. Yes. That's a big one. Oftentimes the fear of somebody saying no, right, of the rejection is rooted, it's often rooted because it's happened before. You've asked somebody for help before and they said no. And it builds that thought in your head that because it happened before, it will happen again. And nobody wants to feel rejected. So I'm not even going to ask. I'm not going to bother because they're just going to say no. And I don't need to feel that. That feels kind of crappy. I don't need to feel that. Feeling I don't deserve it. That's a bit of judgment, I would say. That's our gremlin voice. That's our gremlin voice saying you should be able to. And when the gremlin voice says you should be able to, you don't deserve the help, because if you were a better employee, if you were a better boss, if you were a better daughter, sister, whatever, you wouldn't have to ask for help. That's the perfectionism gremlin saying you should have this right. You are weak if you ask for help. Therefore, you shouldn't bother. You don't deserve it. And absolutely, depression will stop you from reaching out, Christine. Depression is where we close ourselves off, right? We don't connect with others. We're too buried in here. So that will absolutely stop you. There are some cultures, there are some societies and cultures and groups where you're raised, and this is the expectation that as the woman you are the nurturer and the caregiver, and therefore you must do all the things. There is the fear of judgment, that a little bit of what I think Christine talked about, and I think Terry, you might have mentioned it too, but the fear that others will judge me, that I will be seen as less competent, less capable, not smart, not clever, not fast, not whatever, right? The judgment, again, gremlin voice. I will be judged as inadequate if I can't figure this out. So there's a lot of reasons we don't ask. There's a lot of reasons we don't ask. They're all very real reasons. They're real. We've experienced them. We've felt them. They live in our heads. However, if we don't find a way to work around those reasons, if we don't find a way to push through some of those reasons, we will end up feeling very burnt out, overworked, overstressed, and it takes a toll on our physical and mental and emotional health. So, I'm going to give you some lines, some phrases to use when you're asking for help, different ways of kind of asking for help, of looking at it. But before I do, we need to be thinking about this, like framing this in the right way, because asking for help can be a challenge. And first, you need to recognize that it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength. When we ask for help and we get help, what we're doing is we're building connection with other people. We're actually connecting with other people in a very meaningful way, whether we're giving help or getting help. That is you and someone else, or you and a group of people, making a connection for something that matters. And it doesn't matter how little or big it is. It doesn't matter if it's not important. I gotta watch my phrasing. It's not important if it doesn't matter to you what the task is. What's important is it matters to the situation, to the help. So, and what I mean by that, I didn't phrase that very well. Let me think about it. What I mean by that is, maybe what I need is, I'm having an incredibly busy day. I'm locked in one of these conferences all day long. There's no one here to walk my dog, and I need help. So I need to ask my neighbor if she minds coming over at some point during the day and taking my dog just for a quick 10-15 minute walk, just so he gets out. Now, to her, it's like, yeah, I can take 10 or 15 minutes. It will be fine. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But to me, it's a big deal. So it's not important to her. It doesn't matter to her. She's happy to take 15 minutes out of her day to do it. But for me, it's like, oh my God, that's a huge relief. My dog is cared for. My house will be in order. He won't have accidents in the house. He won't eat, the furniture because he's frustrated with being alone. He gets to get outside. Like, the relief, right, comes out of that. So sometimes the things that are the smallest tasks for us are also the ones that can be the most impactful. Helps with our mental health, right? Knowing that my dog is taken care of helps me relax mentally. I'm not worried about him or thinking about him while I'm in the meeting. Helps me feel good emotionally. I'm caring for my dog. Makes me feel good about my neighbor because she's caring for my dog. Makes her feel good about me because she's doing me a favor, and we're building a relationship. So, reframe how you think about asking for help. And hello, Jackie. It's good to see that you have joined us. So the first step, you're going to step up and take charge and understand that asking for help is not a bad thing. It's an important thing. It's for your mental and emotional well-being, as well as just managing your stress and managing your day. So the first step is to recognize the need. Recognize that you do need help. You have an opportunity to sit back and whether it's for the night, the week, the month. Think ahead to where are some of those points where I might need help? Where are some of those moments where I might need help? I just did this exercise for myself 2 weeks ago because I realized I have travel coming up next week. I'm going to be gone all week. My dog is on my mind, obviously. My dog gets walked every morning by me. Very early in the morning, we go for a walk that's usually about 30 to 40 minutes long. So he gets a little bit of exercise. He gets to go do his business and be outside. And then when we come back, he gets his medication and he gets food. Well, if I'm gone all week, who's going to do that? My son lives with me, but my son works a shift schedule. So there are some nights that he's not home till midnight or later, which means there are some mornings that he is not up in time to walk the dog in the morning. I had to recognize I had a need. I need somebody to come in the morning and walk my dog every single morning. Because if he gets that one walk every morning, his day is set. And any additional walks that my son does and any additional snacks that my son gives are bonus. So you got to recognize the need. What's coming up in your future where you might need a hand, where you could use help? It is okay, right? We're recognizing now if something feels like it's too much, if it's too heavy, start identifying what those points are. And hey, Sue's here. Hey, Sue, it's good to see you. So that's step one. Step two is then be specific about it. When you identify kind of where I need help with this piece of the project. I need help with my dog, or I need help managing my day-to-day program, or whatever it is. Once you do that, then you get very specific about it. Watch what you wish for, Christina. I may take you up on that at some point. So get specific about it. And by specific, it's not enough to say, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed and I'm all out of groceries. Isn't that terrible? Like, you actually have to say the words to somebody. Could you run to the store and pick this up for me? Would you mind getting on your phone and ordering a pizza? Like a big or small, doesn't matter what the favor is, what the ask is, but you have to be specific about it. We women in particular are extremely good at this. We tend to go into martyr mode. Oh, I'm so busy. There's so much to do. I'm so stressed. There's so much house cleaning to do. There's just too much. We complain, but we don't turn around and say, could you pick up the vacuum cleaner and just go hit the bedrooms? We don't get specifically right. We think because we complain, well, I made it very clear that I'm overwhelmed and there's work to be done. It doesn't mean the other person's going to pick it up. It doesn't mean that they're going to step in and help, and they may not know where to help. Well, I would do the dishes for her, but we know how she gets about the dishes. So be specific about what you need. Instead of, I'm so overwhelmed, my schedule's so tight, it's, would you mind swinging by the store and picking up these 3 things on your way home? I don't have time to do it. Now, if you're worried about boundaries, you're worried about asking too much of a person, you're worried that you're overburdening them, then be sure that what you're asking for is a fairly defined task. Because the burden is if you send me to Walmart and tell me to buy all your groceries. Like, that's a struggle for me. I don't know what you want to eat. I don't know how much you need. I don't know what you need. If you give me a list of 5 things you need to get through the next 48 hours, I will happily go to Walmart or Target or whatever grocery store is near you and find those 5 things, right? So be specific and give a defined task. That's how we help make the request so that it's not an overburden to other people. What else do you need to do? When you think about how do I ask somebody for help, or what do I need to think about when asking somebody for help, what else do you need to be thinking about? Because right now, I'm not in the phrases yet. I promise I'm going to give you some specific phrases. But we're just thinking about just getting in the right mindset of asking for help. What are some things you need to consider? So we know we need to identify the problem. We need to identify, where do I need help? I need help with this part of the report. I need help with these 3 slides in the presentation. But what else should you be thinking about? The next natural thing to be thinking about is, who do you ask? Choosing the right person for the right task. Not everyone is equipped to help you with every project or every problem that you're trying to solve. Not everybody has the skills or the capacity. So knowing who you ask. Yes, and that is it exactly, Terry. Who you communicate, make sure you communicate specifically, and who you ask. Knowing that you're choosing the right person. So for example, if you are at work and you're trying to organize a work meeting or a work event and there's a bunch of people involved and you got to bring lunch in and all of this, maybe you don't ask frazzled Franny who's always got chaos going on around her, but maybe you go find Debbie who's super organized all the time, and for her this is a cakewalk and she enjoys it, right? You find the people who are best suited to the help that you need. You find the person who has the level of expertise that you're looking for. The other thing to consider when you're considering the people is you might broaden your network of who you ask. Oftentimes we really lock into, I can only ask my BFF at work, my BFF at home, or my mother. No one else can help me. We limit ourselves to the people that we want to ask because we're limiting ourselves to safe. We already know they're going to say yes. We're already pretty sure they're going to be able to help us. But if you expand the network opportunities to say, hey, you know what? I know this person that I worked with 2 years ago or at the last job. Or I know the neighbor, this neighbor on this side of my house helps all the time. I don't know this neighbor that well, but maybe I should. Right? You have an opportunity between friends, family, friends of friends, neighbors, colleagues, co-workers, bosses, current path and past. You have an opportunity to expand your network when you ask for help. And like I said, you're building, that's Boo. Boo's helping me tonight deliver this presentation. Boo's just obnoxious. What you're doing in that moment is you're expanding your network. You're building relationships with more of your network. And that just leads to goodness. Okay, so tap into your network. Also, if you don't know somebody who can help you, your network can help you find somebody. They can introduce you to someone new. Frame it as a partnership. Because here's the deal. If we ask someone for a favor, we are intuitively opening the door for them to ask us for a favor too. So just keep that in mind. Hey, can you help me with this? And I promise I will help you with that. It's a trade, right? You want to use positive language. We'll talk about some language choices in a minute here. Because what you want to do is reduce awkwardness, reduce guilt. Often when we ask for favors, we're bringing our guilt into it, and our guilt makes the other person feel bad. Not fun. You need to practice compassion for yourself. You are not a failure when you ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. In fact, what you are doing is taking a positive step to reducing your stress and reducing your burden. And first phrase you're going to practice, the first script I'm going to give you is, thank you. That would be great. Thank you. That would really help me out. Accept help when it's offered. We always say, no, I got it. That is the first thing we say. Hey, do you need help? You want a hand with that? No, I got it. It's fine. No, it's covered. It's fine. Take the help. Honestly, take the help even if you don't need it. When somebody's offering to help you, it's not because they think you need the help. They are offering a moment of connection. A lot of times, it's obvious I can carry all 6 bags of groceries all at once to my door, open the door, get it in the door on the counter. Clearly, I can do that. And genuinely, I can, because that's a skill that we moms have developed, right? As many bags as you can carry, and open the door, and lock the car, and get everything into the kitchen counter. We're good at that. But should my neighbor see me in the driveway and say, hey, you want a hand with that? The answer is yes. That would be great. Because while I can carry all 6 bags, I am doing so much more by simply saying, yes, thank you. One, I'm easing my burden. I don't have to juggle. I don't have to accidentally drop my keys and then realize I'm going to have to come back for them later, or put a bag down or squat awkwardly to pick up the key so I can unlock the door. I don't have to kick the door open and leave a footmark on the door as I'm coming in because I can't use my hands. I don't have to hustle so that my cat, who's making himself well known tonight, Boo here, doesn't somehow magically escape the house. He's an indoor cat. Escape the house. I'm easing my stress and my burden, and my neighbor feels good because they're helping me out. It's a win-win. I'm building the connection with my neighbor. So thank you. That would be great is the first phrase you need to learn. Accept the help. You are absolutely right, Terry. It is the simplest and the most effective tool in our toolbox, and we underutilize it so much. All right. Now, when you're going to ask for help, here's the deal. You're asking for help. There's only so many ways to say it, because at the end of it all, you're going to say, can you help me with X? Fill in the blank. So I'm not giving you 25 different ways to say, can you help me with? What I'm giving you is a half a dozen ways to frame how you ask, because this is how, 1, you feel more comfortable asking. 2, you make the other person more comfortable that you're asking. So this is when we start paying attention to who are we talking to? Who are we talking to here, and what do they need? I know what I need. I need someone to walk my dog. I need someone to help me with this PowerPoint presentation. I need someone to help me finish writing a report, right? Whatever you need in that moment. First option is the very straightforward, hey, I could really use your help with this. It would make a difference. Hey, I could really use your help with these 2 slides in my PowerPoint deck. It would really make the presentation so much better. It's a straightforward ask. That is going to be at the root every single time. So just know that. Just know that at some point you have to get over the discomfort and ask. And just ask, okay? So, straightforward. You just ask for the thing. Ask for the thing. However, ways to come into the ask could be, for example, one is you frame it as teamwork. Now, teamwork can come at it 2 ways. One is, hey, we've both got a ton going on. I know that your work list is just as long as mine, but if you could handle these 3 slides, I would be happy to take care of this for you. Or let's divide and conquer the deck. Or could we tackle this together? I know you're just as busy as I am, but if we tackled this together, it would be faster. It'd be way more fun. Right? So you frame this as a partnership. You're still asking, hey, I need you to do these 2 slides in this slide deck. I need you to fill out this section of the report, but we're going to collaborate on this. It will be faster. It will be more fun. I'm acknowledging, I know we're both busy. So that's one way, right? Make yourselves partners in this effort. Let's team up. Let's get it done. Another way, if you're working with somebody who is one of us, we know who we are, who really like to help people. They just love to help. They want to be helpful. They want to be useful. Leaning in to the appreciation up front sets up the ask. So up front saying, I would be eternally grateful if you could take 2 minutes out of your day to help me with this. It would really mean a lot to me. I would be so appreciative if you could do those 2 slides in this presentation for me. Leaning in with the appreciation first lets them know, this is important to me. This is valuable to me. If you could pinch hit, you've got my gratitude. I will be thinking of you. I will be thanking you. So you lean into the gratitude first. That's one way to go in. A different way to go in, similar to the gratitude, is to highlight how important they are to the project, their expertise. So maybe it's, you are so good at numbers. These 2 slides where we're going over sort of the P&L figures in the budget, I could really use your help with that because your expertise will make this report so much better. I could really use your help walking my dog because I'm going to be out of town and I just can't do it, and I worry so much when I'm gone. What I'm highlighting is, what's the importance of their help? The importance of their help is, I'm going to be so relieved and feel so much better knowing my dog is taken care of. The importance is, this presentation is going to go over so much better because you put your expertise into this deck. So you could lean into their expertise. You could lean into appreciating them. You could lean into partnership. You could, and I've used this, You could use humor. You're just going to lean into it in a lighter way. Right? I am drowning here. Please throw me a lifeline. I need a life jacket. The life jacket looks like this. It's these 2 paragraphs in my report. Can you do that? You make a joke out of it. Maybe there's an inside joke. We all have a Kevin. Kevin who works at the office but doesn't really work, right? Kevin is the guy who never really does the work. He makes everybody else around him do the work. So you come in with a, I hate to pull a Kevin, but I really need your help. So just using humor, using some way to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit funny. Maybe you're slightly poking fun at a Kevin. It's fine. Kevin won't know. But as a way to lighten the request and make it seem like not such a big deal, but still ask the question. Flip side of that, don't use humor. Maybe you don't think you're funny. You can still make it very low pressure. You can still make it a, hey, this seems like a little thing, but it would mean a lot if you could help me with this. I've got so much going on. I realize this is a small thing for you, but it would be really cool if you could handle this. And just make sure that if you're going to go the casual low pressure ask, that it is actually a low pressure project that you're asking them to help with. Like, this will literally take 8 minutes of your time, but it would take me 80 minutes. I would really love your help. Last option, I have used this regularly throughout my career. It typically works, is if you could handle those 2 slides for me in this deck, I will bake you cookies. I will buy you lunch. I will do your homework for a week, right? Bribery. Make a bargain. If you do X, I will do Y. Hey, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not going to get this done on time. If you could finish this piece of the project, I promise next project, I'm going to owe you big. I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to fix your car. I'm going to mow your lawn. I'm going to do that report next week instead of you having to do it. You bargain. You bribe. There's nothing wrong with a little bribery. I have brought plenty of cookies and boxes of chocolates and bought many lunches in my day to thank people for helping me. I am food motivated. Exactly, Terry. Food is a great motivation for most of us who love food. Use it. The point of these different angles, like I said, you can't get away from the discomfort of asking for the favor, of asking for the thing. What you can do is approach it from slightly different perspectives, depending on who you're asking and who you're talking to. Some people are going to love the idea that they're your partner in crime in this and you're going to tackle this together. Some people are going to love the idea that they're helping you, that they're being good and they're doing good work. Other people are just going to want you to owe them a favor. Fine. Owe them a favor. This is how we build networks and relationships. We do favors for each other. Okay? This is why we ask for help. This is why when someone offers help, even if we don't need it, the response is thank you. I appreciate that. That's the most important phrase, because people will offer help. Your friends, your family, people will offer help. And sometimes we don't hear it. And sometimes we say no because we still carry guilt and shame that if we accept their help, we look incompetent. We look inadequate. We can't do it. We shouldn't do it. Like, why are they offering help? They think I'm stupid? They think I can't do this? No. They're offering help to connect with you, to be part of whatever you're part of. That's why they want to help. If you put yourself in the shoes of the other person, I want you to think about how many times you offered to help somebody. How many times have you offered to help a friend, to help a family member? And as you were uttering the words, let me do this, or I can do this, in your head was the thought, they're such an idiot. How many times? 0. I think it's partly just human nature. We don't offer help to people we don't like. We don't offer a lot of help to people who are idiots unless, and this speaks to what Terry mentioned earlier, unless we're worried they won't do a good job and it will somehow reflect on us. Then our whole kind of control freak crawls in and says, nope, I'll take that, I'll do that for you. Because if I don't do that for you, it will be a bomb. And I can't have that. That's an us problem. Genuinely, when there is an offer for help, You say yes, you say thank you, and you remember it is not a reflection of you needing help. It is a reflection of the relationship that you're building. So normalize asking for help. Make it a practice. And if you're really uncomfortable with this, I'm going to invite you to start super, super small. Ask for help on things that you know how to do, you don't really need help with, and that are small things, little things, like carrying the groceries in the house. Like, can you water my plants? Like, can you read this report over for me? Just to make sure I got it right. Can you check my slides for me? Just spend 5 minutes with me and let me run through this just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Ask for the things that are an easy ask because you already know the answer. You already know you can do it. So you're not feeling incompetent, but you're practicing the muscle of asking for help so that when you genuinely need it, you know how to utter those phrases. You know how to say the words you need to say. Okay. That is tonight's Training Tuesday. Thank you for joining. If you need help with this or any other stress reduction strategies for how you're juggling your very, very busy lives, my dirty girls, I have reopened up mini digs. So we do the Dirty Girl mini dig, which is where we do a short 15-minute coaching call, just coaching, nothing else, on the stress, the problem, the challenge that you're facing right now. And we work through to one proactive step or action you can take to make progress. So if you are interested in having this free coaching call, again, it's not a sales pitch or anything like that. We are literally on the phone, you and I, talking about the one thing that is adding to your stress or that's preventing you from moving forward. And we're identifying what's one thing you can do to move that forward, to move past that. Dirty Girl Mini Dig, that's what it is. It's a free coaching conversation. It helps me get to know you better. It helps you get to know me better. And we get to help each other. Remember, asking for help. Free help. Right here. If you're interested in the Dirty Girl Mini Dig, just drop the word dig in the comments and I will reach out to you and we will figure out a time when we can jump on the phone and have a chat. I would love to meet you more and talk with you more about this. So again, the word is dig. Just leave it in the comments on the video and I will find you and we will schedule that time together. In the meantime, my dirty girls, have a fabulous week. Thank you for joining Training Tuesday. And remember, practice the muscle of asking for help. Start with small, simple things, easy things. As you build the muscle, it will get easier. And suddenly you will be a genius at not just asking for help, but at getting your entire network bought in to anything and everything you're doing. Go forth and conquer, my friends. I will see you. Oh, I will not see you next week. I will be on a plane. So my apologies. I will put a notice in. I'll try to remember to put a notice in that there will not be Training Tuesday next week, but we will be back the week after. Have a fabulous week.